What's up, guys? Pete here with So You're 20 Something, coming at you live from West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm in my hotel room. Apologies for the lighting. It's pretty terrible, but it's not the lighting that counts, it's the content. Today, I want to talk to everyone about something that I'm very proud of personally, but I think is also something that can help a lot of people, and that's kind of my story about how I was able to lose 30 pounds in my 20s. Um, Going back to where it began. I'm from an Italian household. I'm sure anyone who knows me very well. Fed very well as a kid. Food meant love, all that good stuff. Um, so that's kind of where I started out in when I was in my parents' household. But after that, going to college, some of the most, probably the best days for me. Some of the things I was most happy to do was eat chicken wings and ranch and basically just buffalo chicken and beer. It was basically like the more buffalo chicken and the more beer, the better. That equaled good. That was my jam, my rock and roll. I mean, I ate a whole bunch of eggs and potatoes and all that good stuff too. But like, I was on that buffalo chicken diet, and to this day, don't get me wrong, I love buffalo chicken. It is probably still one of my favorite things. But what happened was after I graduated college, it just became a lot tougher. I guess I had put my body through a ton in college between eating really crappy food and drinking crappy drinks and just not exercising the way that I should. And you can only do that for so long, as most all 20 somethings and anyone older has come to learn. But so what I found is that I graduated college, and in my first job, we were always going out to lunch, and I'd be getting the chicken quesadillas, the buffalo wings, and the French fries, ordering the extra French fries, and after beer on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or definitely Friday, we were always getting two to three cold ones, nice Yinglings or whatever, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was a lot of fun until it wasn't a lot of fun. It caused me a lot of pain. I was constantly just feeling sick. I had this terrible, wrenching, just gut pain all the time. And I was just thinking, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Like, I used to be able to do this all the time, but it catches up to you, and it really caught up to me to where it was hard to wake up, get out the door. My energy was completely screwed during the day, and you really need that when you're trying to do your thing and be successful. So I had to make some pretty big wholesale changes, and when I really realized that I needed to make those changes, there was one day, my girlfriend at the time, now wife, she has always been into fitness, always been into exercise, a gymnast, and she's like, "Let's go to the gym together." And I reluctantly, agreed. Um, and we went to the gym, and she was on the treadmill, and I was on the elliptical for about 20 minutes. And I swear to God, I thought I was gonna die. When we were walking back up the stairs to our third floor apartment, I literally got lightheaded, and I had to stop at the top of the steps. And I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, you're 22, 23, and you just did 20 minutes on the elliptical, and like you're about to pass out, like lightheaded, dizzy, felt terrible, like nauseous. And, I knew that I wasn't right inside. And it really, even after that point, it took me a couple, maybe year or two before I was really like, yo, you really got to get a hold of this. So, really, what I'd like to talk to you guys about today is I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm not, the buff guy walking around the gym, but I do feel like I've gotten to a really good point with my health and my physical well-being, and I feel good about who I am and the way that I look, which is a really great feeling to have. You can always be better, like have bigger biceps or, whatever, six-pack abs, but just feeling good about who you are and, what you're putting on in the morning is a great feeling. And what I wanted to share today, I've got 9 basic guidelines to how I made the change in my life to lose over 30 pounds. At my heaviest, I was 195, and I was able to lose 30 pounds. And right now, I'm comfortably right between like 165 and 175, depending on, travel, celebrations, whatever else that's going on. But what I'm really focused, I'm usually right around the 165 to 170 range, which for my height is pretty normal and good and a weight that I'm happy with. But again, not a fitness expert, not a nutrition expert. This is just what's worked for me. I feel like it's really good practical advice, and I hope that it helps everyone out. Um, so the biggest change that I made was I started packing my lunch. That's my number one of my guidelines is packing your lunch. It's really easy to say yes to, hey, you want to go out? You want to grab a bite to eat? It adds up whenever you go out. It's easy to make bad decisions. It's easy to overeat. It's easy to overorder. Not to mention it also financially is not very good, viably. So I started packing my lunch, and what I would pack is usually a fruit of some kind. I would also pack a salad, all spinach salad, which spinach is a lot better for you than any other lettuce, but I can get into that at another time. And I would pack water, salad, fruit, nuts, some kind of like salty chip type thing, and maybe like a yogurt, something with high in protein, apple with peanut butter. But the biggest change that I made was I started bringing my lunch to work. I did that 5 days a week, saved a ton of money. I only ate what I brought with me, which is another beauty of packing your lunch. The food that you have is the food you have until you get home, and that's it. So that was one of the biggest changes I made was packing my lunch. It forces you to make good decisions because you only get to eat what's in there, and you know what you're eating. It's not when you go to a restaurant, oh, I got a burger, but they put a bunch of sugar in that ground beef to make it taste better, or whatever. So you really don't know what's going into all that food at the restaurants. When you pack your lunch, you know exactly what's going in there. So that was my number one biggest change that I made. The second one, it plays into that a lot. It's you have to learn how to buy your own groceries and cook at home. It's so easy when you get done with work. You get there at 8 or 7:30, and you're there till 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. It's so easy to be like, I'm stopping at Chick-fil-A on the way home. I'm gonna pull through the McDonald's drive-through. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell. Fuck that. If you do that, it's the easy thing to do, but it's really not helping you in the long run. It's so much better to cook at home, cook your own food, even if it's, scrambled eggs for dinner. Cheap, good for you, healthy. You cooked it, you know what's in it. But buying your groceries, having a set time that you go to the grocery store, whether it's Sunday night, Wednesday afternoon, knowing which stores to go to, and I'll get into that on a different post. But number two for me was buying all my own groceries, having food in the house, not letting it go bad, and cooking at home. So that's number two. Number three, this is a big one. A lot of people don't do it. It has to do with getting in a rhythm. And something that I do, my wife and I do, is we stop eating 2 hours prior to going to bed. So for us, we try to be in bed by 10. So that means no food consumption after 8 p.m. 8 p.m. strikes, too bad, like you're done for the night. The reason for this is it gives you 2 hours to fully digest your meal, and that way you're able to fall asleep at a good time because your body's not expending energy and trying to digest your food. You can't fall asleep right after you eat because your body is using energy and staying up to digest that food. So we stop eating 2 hours prior before bed. For us, that's 8. For other people, I understand that's different. But for us, that's 8 o'clock at night, and found that makes a huge difference because you're not going to sleep full, you're not going to sleep hungry, you're going to sleep comfortable. So for us, it's 8. If you go to sleep typically at 11, you would, the latest you would want to be eating is 9, so on and so forth, basic math. 2 hours prior to bedtime, make sure you're done consuming anything really but water or like tea with like lemon and honey or something like that. This next one is the direct follow-up to that, and it's fasting for 10 to 12 hours a day. I know that sounds crazy, and it might be hard and something that people don't really know about. Fasting kind of has this weird aura around it, but if you think about it, if you stop eating at 8 and you wake up at 6, 6:30, even 7, you've already fasted for 10 to 11 hours. So when you give your body that chance and your organs, your stomach, your liver, everything the chance to regenerate, revitalize, refresh itself, you've really given it a good break and you can wake up fresh. And that's why it's called breakfast, because you're breaking your fast. Gotcha. That's what breakfast means. You're breaking your fast. So we will fast for 10 to 12 hours a day, and that's from 8 p.m. Typically, I typically eat breakfast around 7, and that seems to work out a lot and make a big difference when, if there's a week where you weren't able to get up or you weren't able to exercise, just by doing that, you're setting your body up to be in a good place so that losing you're not losing ground for any progress you've made for losing weight or staying healthy or whatever it is. That's a really good way to make sure that your body is given the best chance to be in a healthy state, in my opinion. This next one, number 5, is exercise in the morning. So it plays right into that. Stop eating 2 hours before bed, and then fast for 10 to 12 hours, and then guess what? You wake up and boom, you exercise, whether it's, push-ups, crunches, free weights. We like to run. If it's walking, the elliptical. I think cardio is best in the morning. But wake up, exercise when you wake up. That way it's done. You don't have to go through the whole workday and say, crap, I forgot to work out. Now I got to go out and do it. Best thing is first thing in the morning, especially after you combine that with stop eating 2 hours before bed and fasting for 10 to 12 hours. You'll really see real results really quickly, very, very quickly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you did that and you hadn't really been in the workout game for a while and you were able to lose 5 pounds in a week, 5 to maybe even 10, depending on where you are or who you are, or, male, female, or, water content or whatever. But if you just parlay those 3 together, you're going to see some really good results from it, and you're going to feel really good too. Exercise in the morning. That's number 5. Number 6 is cardio 3 to 4 times a week. A lot of people hate cardio. I hated cardio. I played attack in lacrosse because I hated running. I was just this chubby, dude that anything having to do with running was, for me, pain, and I hated it. I never wanted to do it. I love running now. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that, but my wife got me into it. I started on a treadmill watching, Marvel movies or sci-fi movies, the ones that my wife didn't want to watch with me, running a mile at a time, 20 minutes, boom, I got in, my X-Men First Class, 20 minutes of that movie that day at the gym, and then the next day I went back, I watched the next 20 minutes, and it was a nice way to start out. Before I knew it, I was doing, 2 miles in the morning. After that, I was running 5Ks, which is 3.1 miles, and a very common entry-level race. From there, went to a 15K, which is 9 miles, and then the half marathon, which is 13.1. I never would have imagined doing any of that stuff right when I got out of college. I hated running. I was not about it at all. Waking up to run, not for me. It's how I get by now. I love it. It's such a huge part of my life and who I am today. We were up at 6 today and ran 3 miles. We're running the Gasparilla Half Marathon this weekend. It's something that my wife and I are able to bond over. So exercising in the morning, cardio 3 to 4 times a week. And so cardio is running, walking, biking, elliptical, and even swimming. Those are all 5 forms of cardio. Find one that you like. Find a media form that you like to consume while doing it. It's going to make it a whole lot easier and more fun for you. Number 8 here is, this is kind of wrapping everything back up and together. Get into a daily routine. Make it so that you're eating dinner at the same time, you're stopping eating at the same time, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, exercising at the same time. Our bodies thrive on rhythm. They thrive on being able to get into a sense of normalcy and repetition. And that's when you start to do that and build on that, that's when you really start to see great results for getting to where you want to be. And I know when I was, trying to lose weight and do my thing by getting to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, exercising, eating, it really helps your body to get its shit together. I am not a fitness expert, a nutrition expert. That's the best way I can put it. It helps your body get its shit together. Um, the last one here is one that I feel very, very strongly about. It could be the hardest one. I know it was super hard for me to do, but this one is, I feel very, very, if you're serious, not happy about where you're at, and you seriously want to make change and lose weight or get healthy or just feel better, this is probably the most important one. And it's severely either limiting or cutting out fried foods, alcohol, and red meat. If you could do one of those, great. If you can cut the others down to, I mean, red meat probably is not something you should do more than once every 2 weeks, but I love steak, I love burgers, I love Italian subs, like ribs, all my jam. But you gotta get your priorities where they want to be. If you're trying to lose weight, those aren't the things you're supposed to eat, and that's just the way it is. So it's shitty, it sucks, but that's the way it is. So the biggest difference for me was I stopped drinking alcohol for I think it was 4 months. I made a commitment to myself. Not going to drink any alcohol for 4 months. Fantasy football draft came around. Had all my buddies in town. Not a sip of alcohol. They ask any of them, they will tell you what a douche I was that draft. But I had a good draft that year, even though I didn't win. Still haven't won, but that's not the point. I didn't drink. There was concerts. It was my sister-in-law's 21st birthday, and I was the DD. One of the best, worst nights of my life, but it's super funny being out there sober when everyone else is drinking. It's not something that I'd been a part of really ever since, the later parts of high school, but it was very refreshing. I felt like my body needed it. And if you're a guy and you're used to drinking beer, like I love drinking beer, or rum or whiskey or vodka or margaritas. But if you drink beer and you stop drinking beer for like 3 months, dude, you're gonna see a whole huge difference in your face, in everything. So that's the last one right there. That's just a little bit of insight into how I was able to lose 30 pounds at age 25. Very, very happy to say that I feel like I keep a very good level of personal health and fitness and an image that I'm happy with. So hopefully these guidelines that I gave you today help you. If you have any questions, please make sure to hit me up. Reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find me at Peter Cove Podcast. Same with Twitter, Peter Cove Podcast. You can search me on YouTube, So You're 20-something, or Peter Cove, and hit me up on the DM. Any questions, I'm happy to help. Get out there and kill it, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.